Intro.
Hey y'all.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are the Amerime Junkies. Uh, we're going to start our introductions. I'm going to start with this dashing young man right over here.
Hey guys, it's Demon Engine here. Part of the Amerime Junkies. I am entirely nervous right now. The overlords are in the same room with me, looming over me, and it's making me feel some type of way. Go on with your introduction.
The overlords. Hilarious.
And then right over here we have the queen.
Hey you guys, it's your girl Queen Nick here. Go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms, queennick.art. Visit my website, queennick.art, and definitely shop serpentinefire.co. That's serpentinefire.co. And we have a special guest. But before we get into that, we are going to introduce one of the dopest individuals and I feel like underrated journalists of Amerime. That would be Salty Live 215.
Oh, no, quiet you. Thank you. Yeah, this is Salty Live 215. We're the Amerime Junkies. And today, the gentleman below me from Brooklyn, from what I understand,
correct.
when he's not sucking everyone's blood with his vampire novels, he's actually working behind the scenes on some of my personal favorite late night talk shows. Oh yeah, I know.
Oh
Mr.
yeah,
Stephen Van Patten.
he reads and he does his research well.
Mr.
Yes.
Stephen Van Patten, how you doing?
Wow, thank you so much, guys, for having me. This is awesome. It's great to see you guys. It's great that we get to do this in almost post-COVID America.
I'm gonna put some air quotes on that post-COVID.
Yeah, well, keeping it 100.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
Oh God!
Like, why you had to? Tommy Boss, turn your camera to the side, like to landscape
I know.
for me, because you messing up the whole.
There
you go. There you go.
I'm about to say you're showing your age.
Screen. Like, how you work this thing?
Wow. That's cold.
I mean, it's only because it's him though. Like, we only do that to him.
Mm.
But
Hey Steven.
Hey, what's happening?
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having. Appreciate you.
We're gonna be sitting down with Steve, but at first, let's talk to the boss of bosses, the common boss, always in the shadows. Today, decided to come out to the light.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that magnificent beard, filled with mystery.
See it popping? It's full of food.
Man beard. That's
Very
the
strong.
Man beard.
Very strong.
Thank you.
Before we dive straight into it, we've got just a few interesting tidbits of news and our weekly geek report. Now, starting off, there was this little finale thing on Disney Plus known as Loki, and millions and millions of people tuned in. And we found out at the very end of it that there will be a season 2. And we also got introduced to Jonathan Majors as Kang.
That was unexpected. We'll tell you that.
Have you seen it, Steven?
I saw it. I figured you guys were going to talk about it, so I made a point of seeing it before I, got with you guys.
Appreciate it. Now on the show he went by he who has no name or something or other, but he was a variation.
He who should not be named.
He was Voldemort.
Remains.
Whatever.
You uncultured.
It don't matter.
swine.
Whatever. Yeah, right. Whatever.
All we know is
That's a man with
Kang.
comic in his name, but okay.
All we know is that's Kang. Kang is going to be around. Jonathan Majors, of course, from Lovecraft Country. He's going to be portraying this character in many variations. So,
Woo-hoo.
despite the fact that this particular one has died, we already know that we're going to see him again, definitely in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, on the subject of Loki, Tom Hiddleston, Loki, he says he has an absolute blast playing the character, and he would like to play the character for as long as Disney will allow it.
I hope so.
That he was definitely made for that character. A lot of their castings have been so spot on
The funny
for when it
part
came
is,
to Marvel.
the funny thing is, originally he auditioned as Thor.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah.
I just know.
So
I wouldn't be able to take him serious.
I don't know.
Can
Like,
you imagine him as a blonde?
He almost
No.
got it.
I can't imagine him as swole.
Yeah, that either. That's why I just
And-
I couldn't take him serious. Like I would laugh in his face. He would have to
And
smack me
that's
with
why he
Mjolnir.
didn't get it.
Like he would have
That's
had
why
to
he-
smack me with Mjolnir. Like because I'm gonna be making jokes the whole time.
But
They
hey,
said that's
luckily,
one of the only reasons why he didn't get it, because he wasn't big enough to play Thor, and they wanted somebody who looked like a wrestler.
they wanted him to eat his Wheaties and take his vitamins.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough. You know, just 1 calorie, not even enough.
How did you feel about the series, Steven?
I liked it for the most part. What's been interesting about all of these series from WandaVision up on down, it's like everything's had a very different tone.
Mhm.
And they're all kind of their own little entities unto themselves. But as usual, Marvel does this great job of layering and building and setting up the next thing, and it's bananas what they've done over the years. Just in the sense of, and I'm sure you guys have talked about this a lot already, I'm sure, but it's just the fact that who would have thought, like 10 years ago, that we would be sitting around geeking out over what's basically the B list, like the Marvel bench.
Right.
Mhm.
Is all like the superstars that we care about now. I mean, obviously, you could only do so much with Robert Downey Jr. because I'm sure by now you've got to pay him enough for him to buy his own, African country. So
Listen, they were paying out. Listen, they were paying out Johnny Depp up to $100 million for Pirates movies. They could afford more Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
true. But
Maybe.
Robert also didn't want to be paid that amount if the rest of his co-stars wasn't getting none either.
Right. That's true.
That's fair.
Although there is like the whole thing with him and Terrence Howard and that little deal.
Terrence Howard. Terrence
I don't know.
Howard has
I'm not
his
taking
own
sides.
problems.
I'm just saying. Yeah, well, true.
Terrence
Very true.
Terrence Howard's is Terrence Howard's problem. Always has been, always will be.
Well, what does that mean? Is that like light skin? Is that light skin?
No, it's strictly
Okay.
Terrence Howard.
Because a lot of people said that he just be with that light skin stuff. The light skin tendencies.
Listen, he might be one of y'all Kangs, but moving on.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
Moving on.
This is not Hawking. This is not Hawking.
Moving on. In the world of video games, Valve has revealed their portable gaming system, something that no one has really asked for. The Steam Deck. It pretty much looks like the Wii U and a little bit of the Nintendo Switch, and it costs $400.
How much is the Switch?
Have they
$250.
released photos of it yet?
Oh man, they tripping.
Yeah, it really does look like the Wii U. Yeah, like that's the best way I can describe it. Me personally, I don't see where they're
Maybe they
going
bought the
with
licensing for it.
I mean, I don't know. You know how Nintendo is. If this
You
is
can
happening,
license designs.
apparently-
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Nintendo's gangster.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they're
If
not gonna
Ninten-
let nobody just,
Oh no, I feel like
willy-nilly
they've already
without a
abandoned
check.
everything about the Wii U. They don't care.
Oh, okay.
They're like, that don't make us money no more. Y'all want to use that?
Which is,
Fine.
yep, here
But
you
if we
go.
see
Here's
something that
this
look like
license fee,
Mario, I'm on your ass.
pretty much.
Facts. You don't want the
uh,
Mario.
I don't know. I mean, could this be a good thing, or could this be just as irrelevant as Stadia? I don't know.
Mm.
I guess we'll find
Only
out.
time will tell.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Where
yeah.
where is Stadia?
It's around there somewhere.
Who?
Hanging on
Exactly.
by a thread.
It's out there somewhere. In other gaming news,
Somewhere.
NBA 2K 22 announced Candace Parker will be on the cover. This is the first WNBA basketball player to grace the cover of the game.
Oh
The
shit.
WNBA has been available on the game for the last 3 years.
Really? I
Wow.
didn't even know
Oh
that.
shit.
hmm
Shout out to Candace
Uh,
Parker.
Right.
there's gonna be covers with Candace Parker, covers with Luka Doncic, and from what I understand, there might be at least one more person on the 2K22 cover. So I guess people are going to be trying to collect these covers like
I'm about to say
basketball
that.
cards.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's not like there's an NBA Live option out there anyway.
Right.
Mm.
Hey
That's what's
kids,
up.
y'all
Shout out to
remember
Candace Parker.
NBA Live? But yeah, I think it's actually really awesome. I look, I'm not a big 2K22 fan, but I am always big on black excellence. So
Indeed.
Do you play
right now,
do you play any games, Steve?
I actually haven't had time to really play anything in a while. I think the last thing I was really stepping into or going down a rabbit hole with was probably Devil May Care. So
wait,
I'm a
Devil
Oh
May
little out
right.
of it.
Okay.
Devil May Cry, sorry, yes. So that was probably the last thing I was really into, and of course it was a horror game.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, every once in a while I'll get into something on the phone. I have a couple of things on the phone that I mess with, like
do you have Five
uh,
Nights at Freddy's on your phone?
no, but I almost got that.
Nope.
You
That's a
No,
thought
nope
about it. You was
game.
like,
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it. It's just, but for me, it's like I spend so much time trying to get my writing done that I've kind of let the game thing slip a little bit. But
that's okay.
I'm always
Hey,
down to, because I have boys who have like whole almost like man
Man
cave
caves.
freaking just dedicated to this stuff. With what was the visor thing that came out?
The VR.
The VR stuff.
the
I got friends that have that,
Oculus.
and yes, and I've checked that out, and and that's been
You
it's
don't want
been
to play the horror
interesting.
games with that thing on. You.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. At least not
Yeah,
without
I'll
having
say if
to.
you want to.
I've seen them. Like I remember when they first came out. I was working at AT&T, and they and they had some of the reps, put them on or whatever, and they had this horror game called, I think, like Mama or something like that. And it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
babysitting this
Ooh,
kid,
I rem-
but then the
I
kid
remember
like
Mama.
disappears, and then all of a sudden you like turn
Yep.
around or whatever, and this little nigga is sitting there looking at you like you crazy, and you scared because you don't know, like it's all this sound and everything, like you got surround sound and everything, and you're looking around. Nope, wasn't me. It was like, oh, you want to try?
yeah.
Nope, no, thank you.
You were like, I'm good.
No, man, no ham, no turkey.
Nah.
Cut that right on off. Nope.
Yeah.
Big old cup
I
of nope.
played Resident Evil 7 on VR for about 45 minutes. Then I gave up. It's like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I remember that when you was playing Resident Evil VR.
I tapped out fast.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean,
Nope, nope.
45 minutes, that's not bad. I'd last probably 45 seconds.
Yep. Same.
Listen,
Niko.
as soon as it came up to Mama Baker, I was done. Nope. Crotch goblins. I'm done.
I'm
Ugh.
currently dealing. That's the reason why I haven't touched Resident Evil 8 in a while. Oh, that
Resident
baby.
Evil 8 isn't really scary per se,
That
except
baby.
for
And I don't
that
got no
one
gun.
baby.
That's the part I'm
Oh,
at. There's a baby
yeah,
there and I
well, you
ain't got
can't
no
fight. You're
gun.
supposed to run.
Can y'all give us more context, please, for those who don't play this game
In
about
Resident
this
Evil 8,
baby?
there's an area where you pretty much have
Cure
to
the
run
baby
from
fever.
a. It's like it's a very large stillborn zombie baby that wants to swallow you whole.
Crafting even.
Nice.
Yeah. No.
No, not
It's
nice,
very
Steve. Not
good.
nice.
Yeah, I'm good.
Not
Well,
nice.
I'm cool.
I mean,
That just sounds like nah. I'm
Well,
I
I'm
good.
mean,
not. Well,
honestly, y'all are making me want to try this shit now. But
Then you
it's
gotta
like,
hear.
I
Then
just
you gotta
like,
deal with babies.
What?
The sound of babies crying and laughing in the background the entire time.
you
Moving
might not be
dolls.
able to play
No.
the game, but I think you should probably watch some playthroughs of it because Resident Evil 8 definitely taps into more traditional horror sense. You have Lady D and her daughters who are vampires. There's there's lichens. There's a I want to say a creature of the Black Lagoon type of monster. There's
okay.
a gentleman who can cover himself in metal and turn himself into a metal monster.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse
There's a
me. I thought
yeah.
I thought Resident Evil was just zombies. Like I get that they decided to say,
They passed
okay,
the
well they
zombies a
mutated.
while ago.
Right. I'm saying like I know in 5 they
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 still
they had
got
them
zombies, but
mutating and they started looking like the little Johns from they started looking like the little characters from like Blade 2, you know, with the little
Mm.
oh
tongues and
god.
all of that,
Yeah,
and they open
yeah.
up and all of that. Yeah, I was like, all right, okay, I get it. Mutation makes sense. But
Right.
this shit here, you talking about motherfucker that can make himself mad? Oh no, that's cheating. As far as I'm concerned, nope, that's just cheating.
But
Yeah, you got to imagine. How do you beat
anyway,
that?
bullets. A lot of
A
Bullets
lot of
bullets.
bullets. So
on a
unlimited
metal.
ammo.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
got
All
cheat
right.
sheets.
Listen, I don't question Capcom's logic. They're just like, listen, in this game you get a lot of bullets. So
You
Well,
gonna
that's
need them.
good.
Hope your aim is good though.
Oh, good. Well, if there's walkthroughs, I'll watch that on YouTube. That'll probably be more time,
Yeah.
Efficient.
sufficient. Thank you. Yes, that'll probably be easier on my old schedule or whatever. Because I watch the Injustice walkthroughs a lot, and that's basically like watching like an old
A movie.
episode of
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, and you kind of get stuck in the Injustice story because you're just like, okay, this is weird, but I'm here for it.
Right. Angry
But-
Superman is always fun.
Always.
Yeah.
Angry Superman.
Well, you know,
But
Yeah.
but that is
I'm
our
gonna
geek
take over the
report.
world because
That's because he's tired of everybody's shit, you know?
well, whatever
Yeah,
works.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
understand the
pretty much.
fact that listen, Superman goes through the black man struggle. He's not allowed to be angry.
And that's only because he's a mutant,
He
though.
can't really express how he really feels.
Excuse you. He could be angry. He just
He's
can't
not a
be
mutant.
angry
He's
as
not
Superman. Not a mutant, but you know what I mean.
I can't. Don't get me started.
He can be angry.
I can't stand too, man. Hypocrite, telling people they shouldn't have to.
Like if he's Clark Kent, he's allowed to be as angry as he wants to be.
I know.
But
And
anytime
not a
he
soul
angry
will
is a
say a word.
world-ending event. That is not okay. Mm-mm.
Well, it's always a real problem when he's like, I'd like to speak to the manager. I know that. So,
Because the manager about to get folded.
but basically,
Literally folded. Literally.
Hey man, this is what you, you know. Can you imagine Superman dealing with a Karen?
he'd fly
I would
away.
hope not. Yeah, he would leave.
He'd fly away.
You think he would just fly away? You don't think he would like go ahead and search this up, especially if he dating a black woman? Like
I feel like
if he was
he-
dealing with that Karen and Victoria
But just
sister,
just toss her up into the sun real fast. You know?
yeah, why not?
Nobody's
Omni-Man
looking
that
right.
hoe. Omni-Man that hoe.
I feel like
I'm
he
the
would
man that
secretly
hoe.
use his heat
Why
vision.
not? Yeah,
He
we
would
go
secretly
we go
use
change it up
Tyler,
for Soldier.
secretly use
We the first podcast to do it.
24/7 movie.
I'm the man that hoe.
And watch me, you.
he would secretly
2021.
use his he would,
Oh, that is
he would
hilarious.
secretly use his heat vision to start a random fire
Just
to distract everybody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
while he threw her up into the sun. I'm here for
No,
I mean,
he's not
nobody would
throwing her
see
up
it
to the
anyway.
sun.
Right.
it. Why not?
Nobody would see it anyway.
Right. Nobody
That's
would
how
miss her.
fast he is.
Nobody would miss her.
I mean, I'm pretty sure her family would miss her, Nico.
No,
But
no. Because if they did, they would have trained her and taught her better.
Mm.
Exactly. Clearly, your family don't love you.
Mm.
Anyway,
Your family don't love you, and it shows.
anyway, I am going. I'm gonna transition over to talking to Mr. Van Patten, so we don't get how many Karens can be thrown into the sun. Anyway,
that's going to be a thing now.
Yeah.
How many Karens
If
can
that
can
became a
Superman
meme,
throw into the sun?
oh,
It's like
man.
the licks
Or
in the
Omni-Man.
Tootsie Pop, right? It's like,
I mean,
Right.
listen, Omni-Man wasn't wrong about humans, for real. Certain kinds of humans, he wasn't wrong.
Do not get Demon Engine started, please.
I will burn this planet down before I spend another minute living amongst these animals. You
mean-
not for these humans.
He never lied. But Steven, have you seen Invincible?
yes, I did. Watch
What
it all
did
the way
you
through.
think of the series?
Well, like everybody else, I think I was extremely shocked by the first episode
Yeah.
because, of course, they set you up so hard. Like you're sitting there and you're like, these motherfuckers did not just sit here and make a carbon copy of Justice League. Like, what the hell is?
Right.
Oh,
What is
shit, he
this?
killed them
Right.
all.
Right. And then
Right.
you're just like,
And
Right.
killed them.
right.
Like, dead. And
they,
I'm like,
right. They not coming
well,
back. Like, not even a little bit.
and that was wild. It is in and of itself because like a lot of my binging like starts late at night, and I'm kind of one of these people that's like if I'm, because I'm working, I'm doing all this other stuff. When I get ready to binge, it's usually like around 11 midnight. But then I have like a cutoff, or at least I think I have a cutoff. That shit happened, and I was up till like, I got into that whole. All right, just one more. Like how much, and you're looking how much time is left in the episode. I was probably up to like 3 a.m. trying to finish that shit.
because like they had the
But it was so good.
It was.
they had the audacity. To give you like the first 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and then you're stuck.
Right.
I mean, I didn't watch
That first
it like
episode was a major hook.
So you're just like, damn.
Yeah, I lost a lot of sleep that night.
Episode 8
Not that I really
will
sleep
always be
anyway.
my
but-
comfort episode. Anytime I just need to feel better.
I know.
I'll watch
Actually,
it.
I would actually like into. Let's talk about your writing. When did you?
When
did
did
you
I
get started?
Oh, well, I was probably toying with the idea of a black vampire when I was a small child, watching movies like Blackula, Christopher Lee and all of his different iterations and Dracula movies and everything else like that. It always kind of stuck with me. And I don't know. I graduated from college. I'm starting to get into, being in TV production, even though I wanted to also be a writer and everything else like that. And believe it or not, the TV production thing actually kicked in before anything else. So I'm sitting there, and then what ends up happening is, make a long story short, I become a stage manager, which is great, but it's a logistical job. It's getting people out of dressing rooms, getting them on a mark, getting them looking at the right camera, walking when they're supposed to walk, that kind of shit. And it's also ego juggling because you're dealing with top celebrity talent. It's also, you're also navigating the Goomba stagehands that, might have beat you up back in the day when they saw you in their neighborhood, but now it's like we all got to get along and let's make a show and let's all be nice to each other and to be fair, I haven't had too many problems navigating those waters, but I artistically was not fulfilled by being a stage manager. So while the bills still need to be paid, while I still stage manage quite often, I also just made it my mission to just, stay up, write my stuff. And, I want to say, I released Brookwater's Curse 1 around 2005, 2006. And then when that didn't quite set the world on fire, I just kept going. It's like, what? I'm just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And then, eventually I started getting some notoriety, eventually self-publishing, be morphed into independent publishing. And, and then, I joined the Horror Writers Association, and then I put out my serial killer series, and my notoriety kind of grew slowly. I mean, not like some household name or anything like that, but I'm definitely at the point now where, I'm being discussed and I'm being offered to be included in different anthologies and that kind of thing. And that's been great because that's what's really, and that was actually, and it's funny because that was the guidance of the Horror Writers Association. It's like, it's great you've done all this stuff, but people still don't really know who the hell you are. So you're going to have to go to more conventions, which was great, which was also doing me a great service until COVID. And then we had no conventions, and then I had nowhere to go. And then I had like a house full of books, and I'm just kind of sitting around going, okay, this kind of sucks. But, I still managed to make the best of things because I did readings online and, I was in some panel discussions and, and I also, funny enough, so I had already been writing for Extra Credit, which is a YouTube channel that just covers all kinds of history. They cover gaming too, actually, which is
yes, they do.
A little of what's going on these days with, even though I'm not really playing anything on a regular basis, but they do video games, they do history, and they do a lot of history, and they do mythology. Now, of course, me being the spooky guy, I was originally put into mythology, but when George Floyd was murdered, they decided to tax me with Black history stories. So I started knocking those out. I did a version of the Tulsa Riot for them, and then I bounced around into some other stuff. I did Harlem Hellfighters, Harlem Renaissance.
Nice, the Harlem Hellfighters.
Yes.
I got a question.
Yes.
Where? It's okay. Look, now it's okay. But were you their token Black guy?
Oh, I'm totally the token Black guy. Yeah, like if you, and that's fine.
I mean, at least he knows. At least he's aware.
I just wanted to make sure.
And he
when they did,
I totally am. Like they have animated versions of all of us on a banner, and it's literally like me and I think this one East Indian girl, and they're aware of it, and
right.
Yeah. Well, that might be
you
one.
said you went from mythology to Black history. I'm just like, might be the token Black guy.
But look, here's the thing. I worked at MTV for 12 years.
Yeah, so hey.
And how many of us do you think I got to see on a day-to-day basis in that situation?
Right.
You know, and I tell, and as grateful as I am for the experience and the time, as far as some of the producers I had to work with at MTV goes, the M stood for microaggressions. So, you know, but
That's
you have to, you know, when you go out into these fields and into this kind of work and whatever, you got to have to suck it up, because once you've stepped into that arena, it's like show and prove. And that's basically what I used to do. It's like, yeah, I know, you know, and whatever, you know, residue or whatever upsetting little thing may have happened, you know, I go, when it's done, I go somewhere, have a beer, relax, calm down, get my nerves together, and sit down and write some shit and kill the person in the book that I'm writing.
I mean, yeah, I've seen those TikToks.
Yes.
And then your coworker goes and reads the book and realizes it's them that you killed.
It's them that you killed.
Oh, you know what?
Child.
That hasn't happened because I'm also good at blending. So it's like I don't exactly create the exact person. I borrow from a few other people and I create a whole other character. So you can't it's hard to catch me in that. But my mom's did it with my ex. Like, she was reading Killer Genius, and then I went in to visit her one day, and she was like, "Son, is this Evelyn in this book?" And I'm like, "God damn it!" Yeah. And that's
Mom
it.
knows.
Supposed to know that.
And honestly,
Mom knows.
that's why I should stop telling you stuff. You know,
right?
But we had a
Mom
good laugh.
knows.
Yeah, Mom knows. But yeah, we had a good laugh about that. But she's the only one that ever actually bust me. Everybody else, you know, they're like, oh, everybody else's thing is just like, because it's like, what's wrong with you? Who hurt you? Like, I get that a lot, you know. So there's a story, there's a short story in Hell at the Way Station, which is called Naughty. Naughty is about an incubus. I imagine you guys know what an incubus is. But for everybody who's listening who doesn't know, let me just say, an incubus is basically a sex demon or a sex vampire, so to speak. So in Naughty, I created an incubus that pretends it's Santa Claus so it can meet women. And yes, all right. So
wait, hold on, go back.
Yeah.
Wait. You sure you don't mean succubus? Hold up. You sure you don't mean succubus?
no, incubus is male.
Oh,
is
yeah,
the male
yeah,
version
okay,
of a succubus.
Okay, so he's yo, wait.
He's being accurate.
Wait.
All I can
hold on,
imagine
pause.
is an
He's
incubus sitting
pretending to be-
there looking at
he's
dressed as a
pretending to be-
Christmas Santa.
Yes,
Looking
that's
at the mom and be like, as soon as I get these kids off my lap, I'm gonna put some kids into you.
And that's actually how he answers every. So he's confronted by a guy whose wife he's been with while he's coming in with presents, because he does the routine. He shows up at your house. He has gifts, you know, and he runs the pace.
And then he drops off a few more.
Well, you know, depending. But he gets confronted by this one guy, and every time he answers a question, he starts it off with "ho ho ho." Well, the reason I did it is because of you know, and it infuriates the guy to the point where at one point he finally screams, "You're not Santa Claus!" But you know, and the funny thing is, it's on YouTube. It's actually on my website. Me reading it to a crowd as they kind of lose their minds. But even before that, some friends had read it, and I got a series of emails that were just like, "What is wrong with you? Why do you hate Christmas?" And I'm like, I don't hate Christmas. I mean,
have they called you a Grinch yet?
For the record,
No.
there's plenty of reasons to hate Christmas.
Yeah,
and well, yeah, and okay, well, I don't necessarily hate Christmas. Halloween is just more my thing.
But
more of a fan of Jack Skellington.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to ask you about your entertainment background.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you get into doing what you do over at MTV?
So what's crazy is I got out of college this, skinny kid that had run the campus TV station, or was at least second in command. And, you know, and then I got slapped hard. It's like, you can come work, but you're going to be a production assistant. You're going to work 12 hours a day. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You know,
It's
lug stuff
thankless.
around.
No
It's
credit.
very thankless. Yes, it's very thankless. But I ended up working with a stage manager who wanted to be a director and actually still is. He actually directs Wild and Out right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Huh.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So the funny thing
It's
is,
good to have that job back.
yeah, right. And when that happened, I actually called him. Was like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And you know, you have that kind of talk with your friends and whatnot. But you know, he's fine now. But so he wanted to direct. So the producers and the people running HBO Downtown Productions, which is where this was, they were like, "Well, if you direct, who's stage managing?" I was like, "Oh, you know, give this one a shot." And then he talked me through certain points and whatever. And then, you know, and that was it. I started down that path. And then later when we all got fired from HBO Downtown, he went on to do other things and he would kind of drag me along. And I was actually working for Home Shopping for a little bit. And then the next thing you know, he gets a job directing at MTV and he gets me hired. And full disclosure, there was at least one other stage manager that was not happy about it, and he would occasionally do little things here and there to sabotage. And,
Of course,
you know.
Of course.
But I managed to dip and dodge. You know, I had my little incidents and problems here and there, but I lasted the whole run of Total Request Live. The studio eventually put us all in the Directors Guild. Now it was a little inconvenient because you're in the Directors Guild, but now your show is canceled. And since this is the only place you've been for the past 12 years, nobody knows who the hell you are. So then I had to go. It was kind of like starting over again. So I ended up doing some work for Madison Square Garden. And then finally I just started picking up random talk shows here and there. And, you know, and then I eventually made it to the nightly show with Larry Wilmore, which is probably one of the things you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Corey.
Of course.
Yes. So I was there.
I'm an avid fan of Larry Wilmore. I've always have been.
Same.
One of the hardest working dudes in the business, and
Yes,
from what I understand, he never forgets people.
Yes, I have yet to test that. Maybe one of these days I will. But yeah, so unfortunately that got canceled because honestly, I thought because the way Jon Stewart spinoff shows work, you know, we all thought we were going to retire off this goddamn thing, and we got 2 seasons out of it, and then we were done. So I've been hopping back and forth to different things here and there.
2016 was a very weird year,
and it was. It absolutely was.
That's the year we want to discuss.
Was.
Y'all know this. That's the year that they're gonna go past because we don't talk about it.
Right.
Voldemort.
Yeah, that night I was actually working the election special for BET, which was crazy. Yes, that was crazy. And they didn't even announce a winner. It was like, I think the last thing that happened was I think either Mark Lamont Hill or somebody said something crazy about white people and they just got off the air. And then like
that might have been Hill.
And that
sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
I remember I'm sitting in a bar and I did 3 straight shots of Don Julio and I didn't even feel it. Like that's how like messed up I was that this was even happening. And then ironically, I end up in this Russian bar. I end up making out with this random Puerto Rican woman. I mean, it was just bizarre. And then that's right, I actually broke daylight that night. And people were coming to work because now I'm kind of like in the Penn Station area. So people are coming to work and people are shell shocked. They're walking past me like zombies. And, you know, and I'm going the other way because I'm going back home to Brooklyn. And it was just surreal. I get back to my apartment. I fall asleep. I wake up and I just remember thinking, please let that have been a nightmare, and it wasn't. And yeah, so
And then
that
4
was
years
my
later, here
election
we
night.
are.
Yeah, and then 4 years later, here we are. Called.
I mean, even this past election was pretty pins and needles. Like people were watching the
Oh,
election more than
totally.
they was watching the Super Bowl.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, definitely.
Like they was checking the scores like they was checking the game. They was checking the votes like they was checking the games.
Oh, absolutely.
Funniest meme ever was like
Yeah,
the Atlanta
I've never
strippers
seen so many
would have
brothers
had
and
all the
sisters
votes
become
counted
hip
and
to
banded already.
politics.
I remember that. That was funny. Shout out to Atlanta strippers. Yay.
Yay. Yes, we love them. We love y'all. We love you,
Ah,
ladies.
yes. The few, the proud, the twerking.
Oh, that's good. They
So-
should use that.
All right, so
So
Oh, I'm sorry.
Steve-
Joe.
movie vampires,
yeah,
your top 5.
Oh, wow. Wow. On the
The best.
spot. The best.
The best top 5
Um,
movie vampires.
Okay. I have to put William Marshall up there just because. And to be honest with you, I know Blackula does not stand up in terms of tech and effects and whatever, and it's a little campy and cheesy and whatever, but he brought such gravitas to that it ultimately had a lifelong effect on me. You know, one of the reasons I decided he's one of the main reasons I decided to sit down and do a dignified, socially conscious vampire story.
okay.
Like, period. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Christopher Lee genuinely gave me nightmares. Genuinely. You know, and when you look back into Christopher Lee's actual history, you know, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, no wonder you a scary cat. No wonder you can carry a movie and only say 5 words at a time sometimes. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
it's because you're a bad motherfucker in real life.
In real
These
life.
are facts.
Yes. The young lady.
What vampire did Christopher Lee play?
He played Dracula.
Was it
Dracula.
Like,
okay?
repeatedly.
Was it Bram Stoker's?
No,
No, it
that
wasn't.
was
Well,
Gary.
one of,
That was Gary Oldman.
yeah, that was Gary Oldman, who technically I want to say 3, but I also want to throw this young lady in there, who played a vampire in an old episode of The Night Stalker, Kolchak the Night Stalker. Just because she was just very intense and she didn't have any lines really, but she was just scary as all fuck. And then Gary Oldman, of course, he gets the shout because
Yeah.
you know, it was
Bram Stoker was scary.
Yeah, I mean, to me, by the time I was, you know, and the thing is, I'm picking most of these other vampire picks because you know, I was a kid and they terrified me. Bram Stoker's Dracula, while it was definitely closer to probably the closest to the book,
Right.
you know, like definitely not as frightening to me because by the time I saw it, I was a grown ass man. So it was like, you know, it was like, for me, it was more like the expectation of the movie hitting certain notes. So it was kind of like a different kind of thing. I can't even imagine what I would have like felt watching that as like a 10-year-old or something like that.
Right.
Like, you know, because I mean, I saw The Exorcist as a child, you know, so it's like my, you know, whatever, you know, you guys
Black
were
families
earlier.
use exorcists to keep kids in church.
Well, that didn't quite work with me, but I get it. I totally get it. And 5, I'm gonna go back to my childhood, go back to something that scared the shit out of me. Barlow from Salem's Lot.
Ooh.
I remember Salem's Lot.
Well, hey man, Stephen King would do it.
Salem's Lot.
Oh, absolutely. All day, every day.
What do you think
right,
of these new horror movies?
Well, you know, so one thing that bothers
That's such
me.
a wide question.
It is, but I'll try to break into it. Look, here, one thing that bothers me is remakes with prettier people that aren't as good actors. I have a serious problem, and that's happened a lot lately. A whole
This
lot.
guy gets it.
It's like, and so what I think is happening is the people who own the rights to these things, you know, they just kind of they'll let it sit in the mothballs for a little bit, and then when another generation comes along, they're like, yeah, let's rehash this, let's rehash that. So they'll blow the dust off the script, hand it to some crazy person like Rob Zombie or somebody like that, and then they'll do this rehash. And you know, if you're, you know, I guess of a certain age, and you remember the original in the classic that it was, and the fact that there was some not so good looking people, but they were acting, and it was dope, and it scared the shit out of you. And now you're watching this new iteration, and it's filled with barista looking people, and it's like,
Right.
what am I looking at? Like, what's happened here? I mean, I just remember being real irritated by this version of The Omen with Liev Schreiber in it, and it was practically a shot by shot remake.
Yeah.
And it was upsetting, because it's like, I could have done this in school if I thought I was going to get away with it.
The Omen, that was 2006.
Right. And reshoot The Omen just with me and my homeboys. You know, it's like, what are you doing?
Did you think that was as bad as the remake of Psycho?
Now, the remake of Psycho is a travesty. it's a flat travesty.
Travesty.
The show, however, the show was actually enjoyable until you realize that Rihanna, and that's way it is playing this one pivotal character, and they kind of that to me was their jump over the tub moment.
Over the tub, okay, I like that.
You know what I mean? You know, I was kind of like, I mean, and not to knock, you know, hey, Rihanna, get all the money you want, you know.
She's not a great actress.
But yeah, there's that. And I was just kind of like, now we've gone gimmicky with this Psycho show that I actually liked. And so while I'm a Hitchcock fan, I am not as bananas over the movie Psycho as my podcast mate and co-writer and co-member of the Horror Writers Association, Mark Abbott. Mark Abbott is like a Psycho groupie. So when I saw Rihanna, I felt the need to brace him for it. So I actually texted him. I was like, have you been watching the Psycho TV show lately? And he's like, yeah, no, man, with the baby and the this and the that. I've been kind of missing episodes and everything. It's like, okay, I'm going to tell you something, and it might upset you, but you need to know. And then he finally told him, and I thought he was gonna. I thought the earlier seasons were actually pretty good, and it was different, and it was, you know, I'm sure it wasn't anything that, you know, Hitchcock had ever envisioned, but you know, I think it was a nice sort of reworking. I'll put it to you like this: for the person that's against remakes and in general, I didn't mind this. I didn't mind it until it just started to go left.
Right.
But then I guess that's
what were your thoughts on the. What were your thoughts on the Hannibal TV show?
I actually dug that. But I dug
thought
it.
Hannibal was good.
I thought I did. I dug it, and I dug it because it was. So I think what happened with that is they were like, all right, everybody knows the movies. Everybody and their mama saw Silence of the Lambs. We're going to have to come with some hard shit if we are going to you know, make a dent, if we're going to please the fan base here, we're going to have to come up with something that, you know, is different. And the trick is, you know, you can't be so caught up in doing something different that you do something wrong. So that's always been a thing that I've caught myself trying to explain to people. It's like, no, but I want to do something different. Yeah, but it sucks. This idea sucks. So you have to, you still have
It's like trying to sprinkle glitter on a piece of shit.
Still a turd.
Still a turd.
I think.
Just a glittery turd.
Yeah, exactly. But in the case of Hannibal, they decided, it seemed like they decided to just go balls out. And I mean, once Eddie Izzard got served his own leg, I mean, that solidified it to me. It was like, all right, you know, I was enjoying this up till now. Now I see you motherfuckers aren't playing. And I was surprised just for the fact of it being on network television. But I think
that was the shocking part for me.
Yes, but I think what's happened is that some network people are starting to realize, all right, well, you know, I think there's a reason HBO is kicking our asses. And it's because people want to see shit like that. And that, I think, is what set Hannibal off away from some of this other stuff.
What did you think about
it because he had the most swag. When it came to a villain who dressed to impress, Matt Nicholson's Hannibal was the best.
Those clothes were bananas.
The drip.
Yo, the clothes were bananas. Those clothes were crazy. If I ever meet him, I'm gonna ask, did he get to keep the clothes?
Right. What did you think of the show Evil?
You know, I have not watched Evil yet. I have not had time to watch Evil yet, but I have heard good things. So
I think you might like that show.
That show
seems up your alley.
Steven, I got a question. What do you think about them? Well, it's not really a reboot because they're trying to. Well, yeah, it is a reboot. They're trying to do a new Blade series with Mahershala Ali.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like I just want Wesley. Just give me Wesley. And that's just how I feel because that's who I grew up watching.
Yes, of course.
And it's like he like that. That's him. Like he like, you know.
Well, I gotta tell you, I my first initial response was to laugh because it was like, y'all didn't hire back Wesley Snipes, but y'all found the dude that looks more like Wesley Snipes than Wesley Snipes. It's hysterical. I mean, great actor, you know, Oscar winner, the whole nine, you know. I think he will knock it out the park. It's gonna come down to the script. It's gonna come down to the script. Now, if they're smart,
I still think they should have did something else.
Yeah. I hear you, but I think
I feel like
if
they
they're
should have cast
smart,
someone more than just 5 years younger than Wesley Snipes.
Is that really the age difference? I wasn't even sure.
It's between like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, he's not. They're not that far apart in age at all. So it's not even like Wesley's too old to play the role at this point because he's not.
No, and I mean Wesley's in shape.
Don't he still got to pay the government back?
Well, I'm hoping his
is he square?
I'm hoping he's square, or at least got there. What was he in? What was the last thing he was in? The
Gallows Walkers.
Oh, Gallows
That
Walkers.
was trash. That was garbage.
That wasn't great, but
that was garbage. It was complete and total garbage. Like that whole script was trash.
But no. What's the thing with all the other old ass action heroes?
Expendables 3.
The Expendables, yeah.
The Expendables, yes. I mean, you know, hopefully Expendables is kind of a big movie. Hopefully that squared him off. I guess. I hope. God, you know. Let's hope.
I mean, I don't blame him for not wanting to pay the government because I mean, you know, but you know,
right? Exactly. We are. we are definitely experiencing taxation without representation
Big time.
every damn day.
Big time.
But you still gotta color within the lines when it comes to certain things. So
Yeah.
Right.
Dot your I's, cross your T's.
yes. Oh, but what I was gonna say was I'm if they're smart, and if you go by what Marvel usually does, I'm half expecting him to show up in this next Doctor Strange movie. Because the scuttlebutt that I'm to understand about that is it's first of all Sam Raimi directing, and it's supposed to have serious horror movie elements. Wanda's supposed to be involved, so it would be smart, and it would also be close to what's happened in the comic books, because Doctor Strange teamed up with Blade and a whole bunch of other different characters to fight and finish off Dracula. So I don't know. I'm almost thinking if we're going with all this different timeline shit that's apparently just been disrupted in this Loki thing, then I guess we bring in the X-Men, we bring in vampires, and then we just have this blast. And then Iron Man's probably back. So who knows? Right.
It would be interesting
as long as we can get Luis from Ant-Man to give us like the quick details.
So
that's a brilliant idea.
So in Loki, Mobius actually like says that like we have vampires in the TVA. So
yes,
that might be the segue.
That was a nice little Jim.
Yeah,
you just kind of toss that out. Oh yeah, vampires.
Yeah, vampires. We had Titans. Like this is nothing. Like vampire. Like Morbius. Right. So Morbius and Blade. So hopefully we get to see him.
Yeah, I don't even. It's like I feel like I saw the stills from Morbius like a long time ago, and I don't know what happened with that.
COVID.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, yeah. Jared Leto.
What'd you say?
He's a very peculiar actor, but
you said Al Pacino.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Oh, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
I just hope he doesn't come back as the Joker.
He's a great actor.
I'm over that.
I liked him as the Joker.
No,
he was
really?
good.
No, he tried too hard.
Yeah.
He was trying too hard for me.
I think the biggest problem when it came to Jared Leto's Joker, he wasn't the main bad guy. The fact that
it wasn't enough of him
and cut it out of the movie, and the same exact thing would all transpire.
I didn't really like the glam Post Malone, whatever the hell that was supposed to be, to get millennials to care, or it was just like, just let the Joker be the Joker, for fuck's sake. I
think he was trying to channel Heath Ledger a bit much, and it just did not give what it was supposed to have gave. So,
right.
He was actually giving a portrayal of an actual a Mexican gangster that's actually still alive and well today.
Yeah, but that's not who Joker is. Joker is a white man. Joker is not a Mexican gangster.
I have to agree with that.
Like if you're gonna do method acting, do it properly. Don't skip.
Look, let's be honest. There's a lot of issues with that damn movie, and Jared Leto's just one piece of a really nasty pie, which is Suicide Squad. But
that's fair.
I asked for your top 5 best vampires, top 5 worst.
Oh, the worst. Okay. Worst. That's actually kind of well, I didn't really dig Twilight. So
no, really?
I'm not shocked.
That was an easy one. Come on.
Right.
No,
that was
okay. But you asked.
But no, that was a good one. I was
right.
expecting to hear that.
All right. Yeah. No, it's just like I'm not one of those people that's into vampirism without consequences. So it's like that's and that's just one of the things.
Consequences, right?
They kind of got like, but there was just so much of this.
But they do though, because like their whole transition,
Do
you
they?
feel like your whole body on fire.
Yeah.
You can sparkle in the sunlight.
Okay, that just means they copied from Anne Rice's book. That's
that
all.
part just didn't.
But Anne Rice didn't have any body sparkling. Like that was like
but
really...
the whole my body feels like it's burning on the inside. I'm like, okay.
and I mean, like that's like only for the transitioning of them turning into vampires. Other than that, like they were good.
All right, we got 4 more.
Everybody was beautiful.
And yes, again, thank you, because that's always going to be a problem when like where's because I'm old school, so I'm like where's some ugly people?
Right.
Where's some ugly people?
Yes, because in real life, everybody's not a freaking underwear model.
Right.
I mean, that's fair, but that's most movies though. But wait, that's most
movies now. That's most movies now.
Where were the
back in the day?
Back
in the day, you had Ernest Borgnine, you had Shelley Winters, you had
Forrest Whitaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Exactly.
That's very true.
What?
You had average-looking people being movie stars.
But okay, so what's wrong with average-looking? Well, I'm not talking about average-looking people. He said ugly people.
I did.
He said ugly people. I'm like, where?
Commercially ugly.
Pam Grier.
Commercially ugly people.
What
they're not ugly.
As commercially ugly though.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying. I just want to see more. I just want to see more average-looking people that can act their asses off, because they're out there and they're not getting the play. That's all. And that's just my own personal pet peeve.
That's fair.
And I don't think vampires will only pick and choose underwear models.
Well, there's that.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So there were a couple of people from Blade 3 who really annoyed me.
Ryan Reynolds.
Triple H. Well, he wasn't really of it. Well, technically. No. I mean, but he wasn't actually the worst part of that movie. Right. Exactly.
Triple H.
Right.
Yeah.
Animal King is a used to be. Triple H as a vampire. And even
was horrible.
And even Dominic Purcell, I think that's his name, as Dracula, that bothered me.
Was he too attractive, or
no? It wasn't. It wasn't the attractive or unattractive argument. For him, it was more the swag and the direction.
Yeah.
It's like you're supposed to be the Marvel Dracula, and I'm an old school Tomb of Dracula reader from back in the day. I still have all 70 effing issues. And it's like that particular series means a lot to me. So for you to go into Blade 3 and say, yeah, we're going to bring up Dracula, and, you bring this dude who, looks like he should be selling, like, I don't know, membership to a fucking gym.
Body spray.
Right. Yeah. It's like, no. And it's like, even if it was directed properly, it just wasn't Marvel's Dracula. It's like, I don't know what this was. So again, just for the fact of it being, disrespectful of the source material, they kind of lost me with that. And the funny thing is, I think they lost Wesley with that, because I think for a variety of reasons, he didn't do press for that movie.
He didn't.
And I remember that
he did the movie.
Well, he barely did the movie. He barely did press for the movie. I think he felt that the way the movie actually ended up coming out, it was too much focus on Jessica
Alba.
Biel.
No, not Alba.
Biel. It was Biel. Yeah. Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds. And I remember specifically because I was actually working at TRL when the movie came out, and he did not show up. It was literally just those two. and everybody was like, well, why isn't Wesley like the star of the movie? Like, why isn't the guy named after the movie here through the interview? And they just kind of like shoved it off to the side or whatever. But apparently he was not happy, and ultimately that actually might have something to do with why they decided not to recast him. You do that whole, well, I don't know if I feel like doing X, Y, and Z, and you break that because we've seen in a couple of instances where a Black person has decided they aren't going to do a press conference, or they aren't going to be at a specific thing, and they aren't going to do this and they aren't going to do that. And I think that happened with Monique.
Yeah.
To take it into a
it wasn't in the contract though. I know now they write that, they make that Monique clause in every word of their contracts.
Yes, they do.
She wasn't contractually obligated to do so. They were trying to like voluntold her, and she was like, or no.
I like how you did it. I like what you did there. Voluntold. I love that. That's pretty dope. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But yeah, I think somewhere in there, I guess, who knows? But yeah, definitely, like half that cast could actually. And who was it? Parker Posey, the other main vampire in there. So all right, you could just take those three right there. Who else? I don't know. I'm struggling to find someone I really genuinely disliked from a performance standpoint. I mean, it's probably I don't know. It's I'd have to think about that some more.
That's okay, and that's all good. I was expecting to hear Paul Rubens and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
But that was funny. That was at least funny.
True.
I didn't mind. Exactly. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. And the thing is, I didn't go into, first of all, it's called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm not going into that treating it like it's serious. In my head, I got just the fact that you named it Buffy the Vampire Slayer gives me a completely different set of expectations. Like, I almost didn't go see the damn thing because I was just like, this is some teeny popper thing. Like, what is this? I'm like, all right, well, for the sake of me being who I am, let's go watch the damn thing. And then I watched it and I was like, all right, that's funny. Okay, good night. And I didn't think about it anymore until it was a TV show.
How do you feel about the TV show?
The TV show, I enjoyed the TV show. It wasn't, and to be completely honest with you, though, I actually enjoyed Angel more than I enjoyed the TV show. Than I enjoyed Buffy. Angel was hitting certain notes that I really dug. And it kind of reminded me of Forever Night a little bit. If you ever saw any of those, that's like an old series. They shot it up in Canada, and it was basically this vampire that decides he's going to be a cop, and all his vampire friends are like, "The fuck is the matter with you?" And
it got canceled due to the writer's strike. Am I correct?
I think you're right. Yeah,
I remember it. Yeah. We're here. Wow. I got you.
Yeah, back in the day, pretty late at night.
Yeah, the writer's strike was pretty savage.
Yeah, well, writer strikes.
That's how we got Transformers 2.
And yeah, how about that?
Really?
Yeah. There was pretty much no script. Mike Bay was like, "Don't worry, guys, I've got it.
Oh dear.
Hold my beers. Matter of fact, give me one beer. Give it a whole 6-pack. Fuck it." Right. But yeah, but it has been an absolute pleasure having you on today.
Well, thank you. I really enjoyed this.
I actually
always good to nerd it out.
I would love to have you back.
Oh, please! I'll come back anytime.
I love to have you back. Shoot, see if we can get one of the ghouls from the ghouls next door.
Okay.
Have a whole horror talk. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah.
But tell the kind folks what you have coming on the horizon.
On the horizon, let's see. I actually just landed one of my short stories in, and it actually just happens to be sitting right here on the desk. Under the Twin Suns, which for horror folk, all of these, it's a collection of short stories and poems, all based around the Yellow King universe, so to speak. Written by long time ago by this guy Robert Chambers, and it's all this really like creepy sort of kind of a psychotic break kind of a story, and so we all take our different turns on it. Mine in particular, of course, I kind of weave in some socially conscious stuff because that's what I do. And I'm already hearing about how that's more of a gut punch than anything else. So yeah, really excited about that. I am still doing episodes for Extra Credit. The latest one that I wrote about the Negro Leagues. So that was actually a nice kind of a break from some of the sadder stories. So I got to do that. And then just before that, I did Stephanie St. Clair, who used to work with Bumpy Johnson.
Bumpy Johnson.
So yeah, you get on YouTube and look up Extra Credit and Stephanie St. Clair and the Negro Leagues. You can catch up with all of that. I'm here writing spooky stuff every day. I'm working on the 4th installment of Brookwater's Curse, my vampire series. For everybody who doesn't know, Christian Brookwater, he's an 1860s Georgia plantation slave who becomes a vampire, and the Brookwater's Curse series is his adventures. Killer Genius, I'm also working on the 3rd installment of that. That's about what is that? Well, it's about a socially conscious Black woman who becomes a serial killer. Very
sounds like
very
something I need to read.
Oh yeah, sure, please, by all means.
Yeah, you read it for research.
For science. Mind your business, Corey.
There you go. So there's that. So there's also the work that I've been doing with my Beef, Wine, and Shenanigans podcast mates, Kirk Johnson and Mark Abbott. We released Hell at the Way Station a couple of years ago, won some awards with that. Hell at Brooklyn Tea is recently released during the pandemic, so we've been experiencing what it's like to shop a book during a plague. You know,
you got that. You guys put that out back in April of 2020, correct?
Yes, correct. And it's been received very well. And it's another fun little thing that we're actually characters in. And it's so funny because, you know, it's like I remember when we finished Hell at the Way Station, and Mark was the one who was really more in charge of putting the very end of the book together. And he had me in there punching a bunch of people in the face and everything else like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to hit the gym because cats are going to be expecting me to be like, you know, this after they exactly it was expect me to be this dude after this was out. So we've got all that happening along with, you know, my short stories landing in different places and all kinds of things like that. And you can experience all of that by visiting www.laughingblackvampire.com. I'm also on Instagram at SVP Thinks. Twitter, same thing, SVP Thinks, and Facebook, just good old government name, Stephen Van Patten. Easy to find, easy to holler at, harass, cuss me out, whatever you want to do. It's all good. I just like the interaction.
Indeed, boost them numbers.
Well, look,
Exactly.
it's been an absolute pleasure. I think it's time for us to begin to sign off. So. Yes. I'm not feeling patriotic today. There will be no Jesus, America, Freedom, Eagle.
Well, how about Wakanda forever?
I will say this. Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Go up your nose and pick a little. I'm picking boogers. Picking boogers.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to put that out there.
I was
love
putting
and
out,
respect.
I was putting
love
out,
and respect to Biz
Chadwick
Marquis.
Boseman,
Yes.
Oh yes.
I look. during our podcast today, the announcement came that he's passed at 57 years old. And I got to admit, it kind of left me stunned here for a second, but the show has to keep on rolling. But he would he will not be forgotten. Uh,
No.
want to say goodbye, Engine.
That
Love,
was
peace, elbow grease.
yeah. That's best I can do right there.
Lady, y'all take care of
Nico,
yourselves, take care of each other. Always, give yourself inner peace, protect yours, and love on each other. Shop Serpentine Fire, that's serpentinefire.co. All right, y'all.
Steve, say
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Later.
This is Corey Salty Live 5 for Amerime Media. Please thank you for downloading this podcast today, and make sure you pick us up whenever you listen to podcasts. Also, don't be afraid to go to AmerimeWire.com, and while you're at it, you can still pick up our magazine in digital or physical copies. Type in Amerime Media on Amazon or on your Kindle. And
Yep.
again, don't forget to visit AmerimeWire.com. That's AmeriMedia.com. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace and love.